Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. We are episode 49 of the railcar project. So last night, after the last night's video, I cleaned the wheels, and when I cleaned the wheels, I discovered a typical Jouef special effect. I've not got this on the tripod, so I'm going to try anyway. Now you can see everything is working very well. Hold on. There we go. Righto. So, I'm going to show you what I discovered. So let me just put this thing here upside down. Doing it with one hand is not the easiest of feats because we don't want to touch cab detailing and damage things. Right. Okay, set that on a bit of backing. Perfect. Right, I'm turning it around to show you what the problem was. So I was cleaning the wheels on the pickup bogie, on both bogies, but in particular on the pickup bogie. This is a pickup bogie over here, where you can see, let me see if you can see them. The light isn't optimal here. Yes, you can. So you can see that the axles, they're split axles, and under here there are the plunger pickups. There, one polarity, and the other two, the other polarity, right? So I'm busy cleaning the wheels and running the locomotive every now and again on the rails to turn the wheels around, and I noticed that this wheel set here was turning freely, meaning the gear was held still by the gear train, and it had sort of come loose. And this thing happens with Jouef models. When you lubricate axles on, even on their own, the axles, we've seen it in a previous video. We're talking about wagon and coach axles. They tend to come slack and they lose the gauge. In this case here, the gear, I had put technical petroleum jelly here to improve lubrication, to lubricate, and also to improve electrical conductivity, because technical petroleum jelly is conductive. It's the same idea. And then you put Vaseline or petroleum jelly on the polarities of your battery, the contacts of the battery in the car. And it had gone inside, and this had come slack. So it wasn't hindering electrical pickup, but of course at this point we didn't have much traction here. So we had traction on this axle and on the two axles from the other bogie. So it wasn't it was not an 8-wheel traction, but a 6-wheel traction. So how did I fix this? As usual with Jouefs, very simple. A tiny spot of this is Loctite ball bearing retaining compound. In Italian we call it frena filetti, literally thread stopper. And using a small piece of wire, a bent paper clip, I put a drop in here, then I turned the wheel round and it gripped. And this stuff is pretty instant. It's instant action. Then the remainder takes some time to dry, so I let it cure overnight, and this is perfect now. So you saw that it's working very well. So if you have problems with Jouef gears, you can fix it with ball bearing retaining compound. Now this isn't the bottle. The bottle, it's up there in the cupboard, so I'm not getting up to get it right now because I have to switch this computer on to do some work. And but you can buy it. I think it's a Loctite one, this one here, but that's a blue one. It's sort of medium intensity version. It's not the red one. The red one is the very high intensity. I definitely think the medium intensity ball bearing retaining compound is more than enough for what we're doing here. I mean, we're not keeping the gears on a locomotive. No, they're not. We don't have to keep, I don't know, bus axle bearings in position or hub bearings. You don't want things, nasty things to happen. So so I did this job here on this locomotive chassis, and then of course we know we did it also on the other two Jouef special effect gears, which were here and here. I'd put some in. Where's my pointer? Lost it. I fixed this problem here as well with ball bearing retaining compound there and there, and this way we have this is absolutely 100% operational. The last thing I'm going to do, but I had already done it when I recommissioned the chassis, I'll put a tiny spot of not sewing machine oil, but a mix of sewing machine oil and technical petroleum jelly in the hub bearings, because this locomotive here, the bogies actually support, like on a real locomotive, the bogies are actually supporting the axles. So the axle boxes are functional, they're not just decorative. So that's that. What can we say about this mechanism? It's efficient, it works, you can see that it works, it's okay. It has only one weak point, and I've noticed it just running it on the test track lately, or my short test runs on the layout. I'm just going to lift it up. This is very prone to fluffage, so you can easily pick up fluff, hairs and the like. So you have to pay particular care at keeping the thing clean, in particular if you apply, and this is absolutely, I would say it's definitely the case, you have to apply some grease here to reduce drag, because this, if not properly lubricated, this very complicated Jouef mechanism can cause a lot of drag and a lot of loss of power, a lot of friction. So anyway, that's our railcar chassis ready to couple it up with the bodywork. We'll do that together later on today, and we'll see if it's wanting to work now. There we go. Of course, before filming yesterday, so I forgot to mention this, before applying the ball bearing retaining compound to that gear, I cleaned the axles thoroughly with lighter fluid, degreased them, and then, as you can see, now you can see that this morning I reapplied technical petroleum jelly to the axles to increase conductivity. So before applying any ball bearing retaining compound, if we're talking about driver, any kind of axle, if the axle also came loose because of lubrication, clean it thoroughly with lighter fluid. I use lighter fluid because it's an excellent degreaser. There are people who use IPA as well, but I find the lighter fluid to be very, very efficient, and there's absolutely no risk if it comes in contact with bodywork, plastic components, because it doesn't damage the paint, it doesn't do anything, so it's very, very good. Plus it's easily, you can buy it at the tobacconist. So I'll show you. I think I bought this can recently, €3.20. This cost me €3.20, and this lasts a long time. It's also very useful to have in a house to remove gunk from labels. Those felt pads you put under, we have hard floors here, tiled floors, so wooden chairs make a noise and they don't slide well, so you have those sticky felt pads. Every now and again they have to be replaced, and this removes the gunk, the glue, very, very well. Or any labels under shoes and things like that, or on anything else. You put a spot of this and it melts the glue, and it doesn't damage the surface. So This is my favourite, degreaser and cleaner. Okay, very well. Having said that, I've got to put that computer on. I've got to reread 2 jobs, and then I might manage to get some proper freedom back once I get rid of them. Cheerio, and see you next time.